26 years ago, when they hired Dennis Hayes to be the foundation president, that mission began to take a bit more of an urban focus because, as we know, population migrations are heading toward big urban areas. It was under his direction that this building existed. He convinced his board of directors to sink a third of the foundation's assets, $32 million, into designing and building this 50,000 Class A commercial office building here on Capitol Hill, just up the road from the downtown Seattle area. So it was designed to be net zero energy, but in fact it's net positive. Right. So it really is addressing the issue that the built environment uses more energy than any other sector. And in this country, the built environment, buildings account for about 75% of all electrical energy consumption. And they're responsible at the back end for about 50% of that carbon dioxide that's heating up the planet. So if you really want to make a monumental impact on carbon footprint, make smarter buildings, right? But the Living Building Challenge uses a 7-petal flower, and the 3 petals that are probably the most rigorous are energy, water, and materials. And just like a tree, living organism, that has to get all of its energy on site, take care of all its own energy needs, where it is, independently. That's what this building does. So instead of a canopy of photosynthesizing leaves, our building has a canopy of 575 SunPower-made PVs. And those PVs are producing about 244,000 kilowatt hours of energy on an annual basis. Now, we're a net metered building. That means that we use the Seattle City Light as our battery. So on days like today, when we're probably producing way more than we're consuming, that surplus goes onto the grid for Seattle City Light to sell to customers in Seattle. But we are actually a net positive building right now. Just to give you an idea, in the first year, we were operating at about 83% net positive. Now, full disclosure, the 3rd floor was not occupied, so we didn't have that critical occupant load. But now we are fully loaded. We're operating for the last 2 years at about 60% net positive. Water, second petal I want to talk about while we're sitting here. Just like a tree, just like a forest, Douglas fir forest gets its water from the rain that falls on it. That's exactly what we do. So the rain that falls on our rooftop panels, the ones that are covering the roof itself, not the ones that are overhanging Madison Avenue or overhanging this what was 15th Avenue. There's a gap in between those panels. We're at about a 30-degree slant on Madison Avenue. Gravity takes that water down, finds its way between the panels, hits the rooftop, comes down an interior drain pipe, and is stored in a 56,000-gallon water cistern in our basement. And then it's treated here for all potable use, so dishwasher, sinks, and showers, and a really small amount in our toilets. And as I mentioned earlier, we have I think the largest building, they have the largest composting toilet system, anywhere on the planet. So a conventional office building of this size in Seattle would typically, that has regular flush toilets, typically has a 25-gallon per square foot consumption, right? So 25 on an annual basis. So we're using 1. So we're a 50,000 square foot commercial office building. We have a cistern at full capacity. It would be 56,000 gallons. That means it doesn't have to rain for a full year, and we would have enough water to make it through an entire year and then some. Now, materials, probably arguably the hardest, most challenging petal of the Living Building Challenge, says that materials cannot be toxic. Just like in a tree can't have toxic, unless we put them there, toxic-free. The materials that are used on this project have to be sourced as locally as possible, and that the heavier the material, the more local it needs to be sourced. Now, why is that important? This building is designed as a shell and core building. The interior, the core of this building is actually FSC certified Douglas fir. It's constructed the way buildings in downtown Seattle, wood beam construction, 10-foot spans, 2 by 6 on 10 decking, nailed together, old school. So the core of the building is what's to last. Everything else is hung on it. So will these windows last 250 years? No, that wouldn't make sense, because there will be, there'll be other windows. But they'll be taken off. Yeah, they can just be pulled off and replaced.
What's the core made out of?
Wood.
Wood?
Yep. It's a material that is from this area. It sequesters carbon for a long, long time. It's coming from, forests that are managed in the most responsible way possible. As I said, we want to be restorative. We want to be a building that really is in harmony with nature.